Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Can you hear me? Hello.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Right. You can hear me?
Yeah.
Right. Fine. Only you and me in the class. Right? Where is that? Right. What's your name, brother?
Marsha.
Huh?
Marsha. Marsha, sir.
Marsha.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Today, what I thought of discussing with you people, another important aspect in international trade operations, that is bank guarantees. Right? Now, bank guarantees, I know most of the trade finance departments, they have a separate unit for bank guarantees. In other words, bank guarantees are also operated by international trade department in the particular banks. But there are a few banks, they do bank guarantees through their credit administration department. One of the banks is HSBC, where I have worked. In HSBC, bank guarantees were handled by not the trade, credit administration. So because they think it's a credit instrument. But basically, this is a trade instrument, bank guarantees. Majority of the banks, they handle bank guarantees by their trade departments, right? So we'll discuss what is bank guarantee and how it operates and how it relates with trade operations, right? Before I forget, I just want to make some announcement. That is, on this coming Friday, there is a Poet Day, right? I don't know the date. It is Fridays. Today is Sunday, and today is 21st, or 22nd, 23rd, Monday, Tuesday. Let's see. However, it's on Friday, Poet Day. We are having an extra class from 10:30 to 12:30. 10:30 to 12:30. I'm having an extra class. There, I'm trying to discuss with you about the UCP 600 case studies which I have given. I can discuss a few of the case studies, and another area which relates to our syllabus, right? Which relates to our syllabus. So we can cover up the thing. Regarding the facility sum and the forex sums, have you done enough questions? Have you done enough questions? Have you done enough sums? Because Mr. Bernard told me that he has done facility sums and forex sums with you. But I don't have any previous notes or anything, right? Have you done that? Hello? Can you answer me, or you can't tell me exact thing? Right? Well, I was told that part has been covered, right? Otherwise, I can do some sums with you, facility sums and forex sums, right? But if you are silent, that means that you have done that. So I don't have to worry about facility sum and the forex sum, where you can get 40 marks, definitely, right? So we'll discuss about the UCP 600 case studies, and I'm trying to cover another area under the syllabus, right? Today we'll discuss about the usage of bank guarantees in international trade, right? Okay. Usage of bank guarantees in international trade, right? Now, when it comes to bank guarantees, this is not a new thing. Bank guarantees is not a new thing in the bank, because most of the banks, they issue several bank guarantees a day. I know some banks are issuing more than 10-15 bank guarantees every day, right, to their customers. And especially in today's globalized economy, it is hard to imagine. It is hard to imagine any business around the world without a guarantee. Everywhere you want a guarantee. That is why we use LCs. The two other payment methods, open account and advance payment, where the documents are not routed through the banks, tends to have a lot of frauds, right? There can be frauds because there's no guarantee about the payment. There's no guarantee about delivering the goods, right? But the open account and collection, we can, even though we are doing the business through open account and collection, we can cover up the risk by issuing a bank guarantee to cover the operations, right? The bank guarantees, if you talk about the history of the bank guarantees, it goes back to 1960s, right? In late 1950s and early 1960s, the Middle East countries, especially Dubai and Saudi, they found oil, and because of the oil boom, they started getting money by selling oil. They extracted oil and they sold oil to other countries. Earlier than 1960, before that, those countries were not so rich like what they are today, right? This is where the bank guarantees came into operations. In those countries, in 60s, this extracting of oil and refinery process and all everything were done by Europeans, mainly British, then Americans, Germans, French guys, and Norwegian guys. Right? When they were doing that, now the Dubai, Sheikh Rashid and all, and they started getting the money, right? Then even in Saudi, the Saudi king, they were getting the money. But one good thing in those countries, those rulers, they thought, now we are having money, now we have to develop our country. Not like our people, right? Because you all know in those countries, everything comes to the ruler. He is the main authority. But these rulers, they thought, okay, we should develop our countries, and there wasn't any schools, there wasn't any good hospitals, medical facilities, roads, infrastructure like electricity, telephones, water. They didn't have anything. They were Bedouins, right? Now, with the money, they wanted to have their own road networks, hospitals, then schools, airports, seaports, everything. They want to develop everything. Who did those contracts? All the contracts were given to these European superpowers and Americans. What they did was they have played out the Arabs. They have played out the Arabs, and halfway through they have taken the money and vanished. Then only these people, those days, the only bank that was functioning in Dubai and other Middle East countries were British Bank of Middle East. Later, it was changed as HSBC Middle East. HSBC. Those days, it was British Bank of Middle East, and that was the only bank. So the banks have to introduce some sort of a guarantee system to get these Arabs secured from getting played out by European superpowers, right? So that is why this bank, what do you call this, bank guarantees came into operations, right? As I have informed you, in today's globalized economy, it is hard to imagine any business around the world without a guarantee. Everybody wants guarantee, right? Estimated aggregate value of guarantees in a year is in the range of hundreds of billions of dollars. Hundreds of billions of dollars, right? Covering the obligations in all sectors of trade and industry, including construction, commercial lending, corporate restructuring, or structured finance all around the world, right? The bank guarantee is not an innovative instrument. It has been on the market for decades. So it is one of the so-called traditional banking product, right? This is exactly the reason why now in the financial and economic crisis, we all are in a financial and economic crisis. This instrument is more successful than ever. Because of the COVID and all those things, all the countries' economy has gone down, right? So we don't know whether we get caught to the wrongdoings of the other parties, right? So therefore, to cover yourself is very, very important. But that is why this instrument is more successful than ever. Global markets are very nervous and everybody aims at security, even for small amount and short tenor businesses, right? Then we'll see why we need bank guarantees. We all know that normally for construction projects, field, for a lot of events, bank guarantees are used. They ask for bank guarantees, right? Because the major construction projects are complex and high-risk endeavors, right? And we all know that complexity is inherent in construction. Very complex area. It is not like manufacturing some product in a factory. It is not like manufacturing some product in a factory. This is, we are doing some construction outside world. Now see, we are manufacturing steel at Steel Corporation or Lanka Steel factory, and we are putting up Candy Highway, Central Highway. Then it will be different from manufacturing products in a factory, right? In a particular projects like construction field, and the buildings are coming up, high-rise buildings are coming up, there are certain risks on a project, any construction project, right? Some of them are the risk of design errors and construction defects. Risk of design errors. Because of the design, the building can be collapsed, right? Or the construction defects. Because of the construction defects, the building can be collapsed. Even the roads can not be motorable. Then risk of design error, physical risk. On top of that, we get physical risk, weather, floods, earthquakes, tsunamis, etc. Right? Those are, without our knowledge, we get those physical risks. Then labor risk. Labor risk. Strikes, work slowdowns, riots. Those things can happen. Human risk, corruption, vandalism, theft, job site safety, design and technology risk, materials, the materials you are going to use. If you are not using the correct material, if you are not mixing the cement, sand, and metal in the exact portion, the concrete won't be that strong, right? Those are risk. If you get caught to a culprit as a contractor, he can play around without using the correct mixture for the concrete, right? The concrete can be damaged. Then supply and transport risk, material shortages, delivery delays, right? Now, for example, for our Sri Lankan constructions, the sand will be transported from Manampitia, that area, right? But due to certain restrictions, police barriers, and all those things, if there's any restrictions, objections for transporting sand, then there will be a scarcity. There will be a shortage, right? So your construction schedule can go for a 6. Then supply and transport, regulatory and financial and political risk, right? Contractor insolvency and default. It can be a road, right? All those things can be seen in construction field as a risk, right? Now, bonds and guarantees are a common feature of many capital and construction projects, as well as in contract for supply of goods, right? Not only in construction field, this is very common in open account. In open account, we know we have the buyer and we have the seller. Right? Between these two parties, we have the sales contract. And based on the sales contract, the seller will sell the goods. That is step one. And once this buyer receives the goods, he will pay. Number two, pay. This is a normal open account, simple cycle. Right? Now, if this thing goes on without any LCs or collection, or the documents are not going through the banks, not routed through the banks, right? The seller, because of the mutual understanding between the buyer and the seller, they will send the goods and buyer will do the payment as per the contract. Maybe immediately, maybe after 1 month or 2 months. Okay? Time is not an issue. On the due date, if these people are paying, that's enough, as per the contract. Right? Now, in a scenario like this, we can do this thing with a bank guarantee. Now, in a bank guarantee, we can explain everything, and we can say the seller will send once the seller will send the goods, the required goods, the buyer has to do the payment. And if the buyer doesn't pay, at that point, we can cover the whole thing with a bank guarantee, right? Without any issues. But 3 months, 4 months, it was happening. And one day, the buyer has not sent the payment. He has not sent the payment. At that point, he can claim on the bank guarantee. He can claim on the bank guarantee. Right? Not the buyer, seller. Seller can claim on the bank guarantee. Then, what is going to happen? The buyer's bank, who has issued the bank guarantee, has to pay the seller on demand. Right? If nothing happened, or the guarantee has a cover validity period of 6 months, during the 6 months, nothing happened, then the bank guarantee will get cancelled, null and void, without anything. True that you have spent some money on this bank guarantee, but don't you think it is still worth? Don't you think it is still worth? If something happens, only you will get the money. Okay? You understood? Can you guys talk? Tell me your feedback. Any questions? Or can you hear me? Or you can't hear me?
Clear, sir.
Clear. මේටික මට ඔයගන්ට තේරුණානේ? ඔයගන්ට තේරුණානේ පුතේ? එහෙනම් අපි ඊට ටික යමු. These bank guarantees are issued to the buyers on behalf of the exporter or contractors by banks or insurance companies, and also shipping guarantees issued by banks, right? On behalf of the exporters or contractors. By banks or insurance companies. Not only the banks are issuing bank guarantees, even the insurance companies are issuing bank guarantees, right? Use of guarantees in different business sectors, just for your information: construction, pharmaceuticals, telecommunication, power projects, financial, common infrastructure, extraction and mining, you name any event, bank guarantees are there, right? Normally, the guarantees usage globally is increasing drastically. Few years back, we didn't have this much of guarantees, right? But now, since recently, we have seen a boom in Asian region regarding the open account trading. So when it comes to open account trading, and normally it will happen between the two very known parties, but still you can't trust the other party. So the bank guarantees will cover the risk. Parties to a guarantee is the applicant, and he is the guy who comes to the bank, or the guarantor. Bank is a guarantor, right? He comes to the issuing bank and then request the guarantor or the issuing bank to issue the guarantee, right? And we issue the guarantee to the beneficiary. Normally it is the buyer, employer, or creditor. Because in financial guarantees, you are covering the debtors and creditors, right? Guarantor is the issuing bank. He is the organization, that's the organization where you give the irrevocable undertaking. So therefore, you are called as guarantor. And sometimes we might need counter guarantor, especially for international guarantees. Counter guarantor, right? The applicant is the person or the entity which makes a request to issue a guarantee which is based on their contractual obligations. Guarantor is the bank which is called upon to issue the guarantee at the request of the applicant to the beneficiary, right? The guarantor is under the primary obligation to make the payment to the beneficiary on first demand. On first demand, it's very important. In the event of a default of the obligations or non-fulfillment of the contractual obligations, right? The beneficiary is the entity or the person in whose favor the guarantee is required to be issued, right? Okay. It is such entity which makes a request for a guarantee under the varying circumstances depending on the event, thereby protecting themselves by a monetary gain. The independence of the guarantee, that is also very important. The basic feature of the modern guarantee is its independence from the underlying relationship. You are not going to get affiliated to the buyer or seller. You are an individual, right? Outside party, the bank guarantor. So they will issue the guarantee without any strings to the buyer or seller. This means that the payment obligations of the guarantor is solely determined by reference to the conditions of payment as specified in the guarantee and regardless of any differences under the underlying transactions. Right? Okay. In banking, the use of guarantees and its risk should be clearly understood by bankers involved in making credit decisions. This is a high-risk instrument and at the same time is also highly profitable. Right? This is completely different from the guarantees we obtain from various individuals firms and corporate entities to secure exposure. Under the guarantees, when we talk about the guarantees, the standby letter of credit also falls under this category. I have done standby letter of credit with you. I told you that certain countries, they don't have in their legal system, they don't entertain bank guarantees. Those countries will entertain standby letter of credit. Standby letter of credit. Right? Otherwise, the workability and the function is same between the bank guarantee and standby letter of credit. Right? Guarantee on first demand are widely used in the international trade and local trade. Normally, all these guarantees should be paid on first demand. Right? Very rarely we ask for bank when there's a bank guarantee. When we are putting a claim, very rarely we are asking for documentary evidence. They just demand, first demand. Then in the first demand itself, we have to settle the claims. Right? They are payable on first demand, and the bank cannot and have no right whatsoever to refuse or postpone the payment. It's clear. The bank is obliged to pay the beneficiary on the first demand after having examined the provisions of the guarantee, its validity, etc. Right? Any questions? Types of guarantees. The bank guarantees, when you talk about the bank guarantees, we can segregate into two types. One is direct guarantee, other one is indirect guarantee. Right? Let's see what are the direct guarantees and what are the indirect guarantees. This is a direct guarantee. Can you spend 1 minute to go through this one and understand? Then after that, I will ask questions. Right? In a bank, in a direct guarantee, we have the applicant and the beneficiary. Between the applicant and the beneficiary, we have a contract. Right? Between the applicant and the beneficiary, we have a contract. And then, based on the contract, now if you say it's a construction project, so the applicant is the contractor, beneficiary is the owner of the building, or if it is a road construction work, right, it's a local authority, a road development authority is the beneficiary, and the applicant, the contractor, is requested to provide a bank guarantee. Then he goes to his bank, applicant's bank, his own bank, and asks for a bank guarantee. That particular bank is the issuing bank, or in other words, we say, is a guarantor. Is a guarantor who is giving the guarantee on behalf of the applicant, right? Then the guarantor will issue the guarantee to the beneficiary. Okay? Clear? Clear than ඔයගොල්ලෝ පොඩ්ඩක් කතා බහ කරලා අපි යමු.
Clear, sir.
Clear නේ? උගන්ට හයියෙන් යන්නෙත් දැන් මම හිමින් යන්නෙත් ඔළුවට මේ ටික දාලා දාන්න. මේ හරියේ පාඩම් කරගන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. ඔළුවට වටනට පස්සේ පාඩම් ගන්න දේවල් තියෙනවනේ. UR digit එනවා තව අද එකක් මම දෙනවා ඔයගලන්ට. පාඩම් කරන්න. පාඩම් කරන ඒවා තියෙනවා. මේවා එලින්ම ඔළුවට දාගන්න. මේ සයිකල් එක දන්නේ නැත්නම් URDG එක පාඩම් කරන්නත් බෑ. URDG එක පාඩම් කරන්නත් බෑ. And the same goes with UCP 600. If you don't know if you are not sure about the trade cycle, then it is very difficult to understand UCP 600. Right? මේවත් හොඳට ඔළුවට ගන්න. And there's another way of bank guarantee, a direct guarantee. Now the beneficiary, if you say applicant is here and this is the beneficiary, right? Between them we have the agreement, contract, right? We have the contract. If we say this applicant is doing his business with one of the banks, say this bank is NDB, this bank is NDB, right? The beneficiary's bank is People's Bank. Now this guy, right? It's People's Bank. Now the beneficiary is RDA, Road Development Authority. Now they are willing to have this guarantee advised to them by their own bank. By their own bank. Right? ඒගොල්ලෝ කැමති නැහැ මෙහෙන් ගන්න. ඒගොල්ලන්ට ඕනේ ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ බැංකුවෙන් ගන්න. එතකොට අපිට කරන්න පුළුවන් the issuing bank or the issuing bank, right? Issuing bank or the guarantor, right, will send the guarantee to People's Bank. People's Bank is the advising bank. Is the advising bank. Without a responsibility on their part, they will advise a guarantee. And they will advise a guarantee to the beneficiary. They will advise a guarantee to the beneficiary. Right? මෙතෙන්දී මේගොල්ලන්ට තියෙන එකම සහනයක් තියෙන්නේ they are getting the guarantee from their own bank. හැබැයි these people will not undertake any responsibility on their part. They will just relay the guarantee to these people. So therefore, there's no additional weightage on having a guarantee like this. There's no additional weightage. Right? Now, for example, if the issuing bank is one of the banks in Maldives, one of the banks in Maldives, then definitely they have to advise a guarantee to the correspondent bank, People's Bank, and request People's Bank to advise a guarantee to RBI. Right? Other than that, nothing. මේගොල්ලෝ වෙනම counter guarantee එකක් දෙන්නේ නැහැ. They are doing this exactly as per the LC advising. LC advising වෙන්නේ මේකම තමයි. Right? Okay. I got clear. Questions on hand. The other one is the indirect guarantee. Other one is the indirect guarantee. Now, in an indirect guarantee, again, I'll try to explain to you with some example. Then it's easier for you to understand. අපිටම CB වලට මෙතන beneficiary right? The beneficiary ඇවිල්ලා අපි හිතමු CB, non-electric board. Right? They want to put up a power plant at Kerawalapitiya. ये बरदा तभी न्यूज़ वाला देखा नहीं Kerawalapitiya power plant एक दानो, right? Kerawalapitiya power plant एक दानो, अक्कोमा केमरत्तन पुटलम वाला power plant एक दानो, solar power plant एक दानो, right? The main Kerawalapitiya power plant एक हाथ लगा like putting up the power plant in Norwich, okay? We don't have good contractors to undertake this job. These are an international job. Okay? When it comes to international job, thank you very much. When it comes to international jobs, this has been given to a company in China. Applicant is in China. Given to a company in China. Now China will start the work, but before that, the beneficiary CB, it's not registered board, will request for a bank guarantee. Request for a bank guarantee, and they want the bank guarantee from one of their own banks, domiciled in Sri Lanka. Then China වලින් අරගෙන අපි හිතමු China Exim Bank එක කියලා. China Exim Bank එකෙන් අරගෙන අපිට කරන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි ඊට පස්සේ ක්ලේම් එකක් ආවම China Exim Bank එකට ගියාම ඒගොල්ලෝ හරියට ගෙවන්නේ නැහැ. Chinese කට්ටිය හිම්ම තමයි මොන හරි දෙයක් කියලා ෂේප් වෙන්න බලන්නේ. right? එතකොට these guys will go to their bank. Exim Bank in China, Beijing. Exim Bank, China. Exim Bank China will issue and they will be the issuing bank, right? And they will request CB's bankers, People's Bank, to issue the guarantee. So they will issue the guarantee. Issue bank guarantee. They will issue the bank guarantee. But for them to issue the bank guarantee, they should have collateral. So they get the collateral from the Exim Bank China, and these people will be acting as a counter guarantor, right? Counter guarantor. and they will issue a counter guarantee. They will issue a counter guarantee to People's Bank. So based on the counter guarantee they receive from Exim Bank, People's Bank will issue the bank guarantee. They will issue the bank guarantee. Right? This is the indirect guarantee. Here, the bank who is going to issue the guarantee is People's Bank, the bank domiciled in the beneficiary's country. Megolan can account a guarantee. If something goes wrong, we will cover the damages. Right? Now see the claims on the indirect guarantee. Direct guarantee claims, basically indirect guarantee. 1, 2, 3, 4 thousand upon the parent. You got a magin plus a hand. Right? If there's a claim, then what is going to happen is the beneficiary will present the claim to his own bank, the People's Bank. They are the people who guarantee the bank guarantee and issue the bank guarantee. So when they put the claim to the guarantor will send the claim to the counter guarantor, Exim Bank, China, for them to pay. So once they receive the thing, it's on demand. They don't check anything. On demand, they will pay. And they will reimburse the issuing bank. Then issuing bank will vest the claim against the guarantee and pay beneficiary. Right? This is how the claims under an indirect guarantee is happening. Security for a bank guarantee, then all these times, we were talking about guarantees, counter guarantees, guarantees, counter guarantees. So guarantor is issuing the bank guarantee, right? Once they issue the guarantee, it's a major risk. It's a major risk, right? Because if there's a claim, they have to pay. So that is why they are asking for a counter guarantee. Otherwise, if we are issuing guarantees in our own banks in Sri Lanka, they will ask for margin. Or you have to have a guarantee facility. Right? Because the guarantee constitutes a major credit risk. And generally, the banks call for strong security. Generally, marketable securities are preferred. Right? Stocks and book dates, either you have to have cash collateral or some marketable security. However, the integrity of the principal plays a major role in determining the risk involved. Also, the business reputation of the applicant. In addition to the experience and the competencies. The bank may issue guarantees in high-risk situations, provided such guarantees are covered by 100% cash security. If we see it's high risk, then we issue bank guarantees with 100% cash covered. 100% cash covered. Types of security for a bank guarantee. Third-party guarantees, so these counter guarantees. Then cash margin, cash build-up, shares, surrender value of life policies, assignment over the underlying contracts, assignments over the underlying contracts, mortgage over movable property, mortgage over movable property. Okay, these are types of security for a bank guarantee. Most frequently used guarantees in trade. Most frequently used guarantees in trade. In international trade, when your customers comes to the bank to open or requesting for guarantees, mainly for bid bonds. Mainly for bid bonds. What do you mean by bid bonds or tender guarantee? But the bid bond act again. I will explain this to you, and after that, you can go through the note. Right? First, I will explain this to you in detail. Now, we take, for example, we take a contract between CWE and some customers to import Mysore dal. Paripu tamai na biyola ganni, ne Mysore dal. CW wants dal, so they have to. If they are not importing directly, they have to go through some customers. That's how it is happening, right? එතකොට මේගොල්ලෝ මොකද්ද කරන්නේ? ඕනම කෙනෙක් කියනවාද කතා කරලා පාරණයකට එන්න අපිට පරිපුටයක් ඕන පරිපුට ගෙනව දෙන්නේ කියලා කියනවාද? මොකද්ද කරන්නේ? මොකද්ද කරන්නේ? මොකද්ද ඒගොල්ලෝ කරන්නේ? They will
call for tenders.
Very good. Very good. Very good. Call for tenders. They will call for tenders. Right? What's your name, brother?
Niranjan.
Niranjan. Good, Niranjan. You are from which bank?
I'm from Samad Bank, sir.
Samad Bank. Right. Okay. So these are common sense questions I'm asking you. Mama teach karanne poddak ogalanta මම කියන්නේ I'm a storyteller කියලා. That's my way of teaching, right? I'm a storyteller. When you were small ones, your grandparents may have told you about once upon a time stories, which you can still remember. කොහොමත් එක රටක රජුරු කෙනෙක් හිටියා, රජුරන්ට මෙහෙම පිස්සවක් හිටියා. ඉතින් ඔය අපි කියලා දෙනවා. ඒ කතාවල් එහෙම තමයි අපිට මතකයි. Right? But can you remember one of the economic books which you have read recently, at least few months back? මතක නැහැ. හරි? ඔගොල්ලෝ A level වලදී කරපු මේ නිරංජන මොනවද කළේ මේ maths කළේ, bio කළේ, commerce කළේ, arts කළේ?
Commerce.
Commerce වල කළා. මේ commerce වලට අර ඒ දීපු මේ කරපු වැඩ සමහර ඒවා මතක නැහැ. right? මට නම් තාම සමහර ඒවා මතකයි after how many years? More than 50 odd years, still I can remember some of the things. but not all. Right? හැබැයි අර ආච්චිලා සීලා පොඩි කාලේ කියලා දුන්න කතාව ඒක හොඳට මතකයි. මගේ යන්නේ අන්නේ මෙතන ටික තමයි පුළුවන් තරම් ස්ටෝරීස් වලින් එක්සැම්පල්ස් වලින් කියලා දෙන්නේ. Then you don't have to study. වැඩි කොළුවේ තියෙනවා. ඒක කරන්න තමයි මට ඔයගලන්ගෙන් උදව්ව ඕනේ. Whenever I am asking questions or I am trying to get talk to develop a discussion with you and for you to communicate with me. එතකොට මට මගේ ස්ටෝරි එක බිල්ඩ් අප් කරන්න ලේසි. දැන් ඒක එන්නේ නැත්නම් if I am not getting the feedback from you, then I am going to the next step. මේ අක්කුන්ට මොච්චර මම මැරෙන්න මොකටද මෙච්චර කතන්දර කියේ. නෝට් එක වල දැම්මම ඉවරයි. right? ඔව් මම හැමතිස්සෙම අහන්නේ ඔයගලගෙන් ඔය කතාවට එන්න. දැන් ඒක ඔයගොල්ලෝ රෙස්පොන්ඩ් කරන්නේ නැත්නම් මටත් නෝට් එක යන්න පුළුවන්. දාර ගාන නෝට් එක දාලා කිව්වොත් මට 2 hours වලදී සම් මේ areas දෙකක් විතර කවර් කරලා දාන්න හැකියි. Okay. Now these guys wants to import dal, so they will call for tenders. When they call for tenders, about 5 people, A, B, C, D, E, the 5 companies, they have put their tenders, right? When they put the tenders to import Mysore dal, can you tell me from where you get the good Mysore dal? From which country?
Australia.
Australia. Mysore dal, huh? Come on there. Not Australia.
India.
Huh?
Sir, India.
India. India also you get dal, but not the best quality. The Kills, Spa, Blue Mark, hi-fi outlets තියෙන්නේ ලොකු ඒවා යන ඒකේ තියෙන මේ පරිප්පු ටික බලන්න මේ පරිප්පුයි CW ගේ පරිප්පුයි right මම දැන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ කඩවල එමනවා මම නම් ඉතින් අපි මාකටිංగ్ කරනකොට අපිට අහු වෙනවා CW ගේ පරිප්පු වල සමහරවිට පරිප්පු වලට වැඩි කළු ඇට නේද එහෙම නේද පරිප්පු වලට වැඩි කළු ඇට නාරේ පරිප්පු නිකන් ලස්සනට තියෙනවා ගාන ටිකක් වැඩි. Some people go for that, some people go for the lesser price CW1. I think just for information, the best quality dal is imported from Canada. You won't believe, in one of the areas, an area called Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan is a province. Saskatchewan province. Their main business is production of dal, lentils, right? Saskatchewan උඩින් යනකොට අපිට දැකලා තියෙනවා when you were flying from Toronto to Vancouver යනකොට you have to cross Saskatchewan. පල්ලෙහාන් domestic flight එක පල්ලෙහාන් යනවා නම් you can see the entire area is orange color. අගර පරිප්පුල වේලෙන්ඩ වගේ දාලා දිගටම දාලා තියෙනවා අක්කර ගණන්. right? ඉතින්ම ඒගොල්ලෝ පවනවා. right. Now the 5 people have put their tenders. If you see a world market price for dal is about 1 ton is equals to US dollars 1,000 kilogram. 1 ton is equals to US dollars 1,000. We have assumptions, right? These are the example. Make the world market price. So this guy, A, has these other bids. A can bid එක තියෙනවා for 1 ton US dollars 990. The B has put a bid for US dollars 995. C की bid එක US dollars 1,100. Right? D की bid එක US dollars 800. E की bid එක US dollars 998. උඩ කවුරු හරි ඉන්නවද මේ guarantees department එකේ වැඩ කරන කට්ටිය? අර බැංක් එකේ guarantees issue කරන කට්ටිය? කවුරු ඉන්නවද? මම නම් අවුරුදු ගාණක් අපි guarantees issue කරලා දන්නවා. Always, if the 10 day is closing at 2 o'clock on a particular day, everybody comes to the bank after 10 o'clock. And they are pressurizing us to issue the guarantee for them to submit the tender. They wait till the last moment. Dollar is like guarantee ගන්න මේ අපිට වදියක් දෙනවා. තුම වදියක් දෙනවා. තුම වදියක් දෙනවා. ඒකට හේතුව මොකද? මේවා inside information එක්කෙනාට එක්කෙනා companies වල යනවා. දැන් එක්කෙනේ 995 කියලා දාලා තිබ්බනම් ඊ last movement එක දාලා 998 කියලා. හරි. ඒවලත් මෙයා 998 කියලා මෙයාට තිබුණා නම් අඩුවෙන් price එක ගන්න ඕනේ. ඒ වෙලාව දානවා. එයා දාන්න හිටියේ 995 විතර දාන්න හිටියේ. එයාට information එකක් එනවා. B 995 දාලා තියෙන්නේ. මෙයා 998 දාලා තියෙන්නේ. මෙයා දානවා 990 කියලා. අඩු price එක. Right? ඔය වගේ යන්නේ. So in this particular scenario, tell me who will get the tender? Who will be the successful bidder? If you are in a think if you are in the procurement team, tender board එක ඔයා ඉන්නවා. tender board එක ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඉන්නවා නම් මේ ටික ඔක්කොම seal envelopes කඩලා මේ ඔක්කොම supported by bank guarantees, bid bonds, right? Then what is the one you are going to select? Mind you, this one, you know, 1 ton is how much the world market price. ඔයා කීයද මේක offer කරන්නේ? ග්‍රාන්ට් කරන්න කාටද?
C.
සීට ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයා ගාණක් අරගෙනද පුතේ මේ වැඩේ කරන්නේ? අන්ඩර්හෑන්ඩ් ගන්නවද මේ වැඩියෙන්ම දාපු එකට දෙනවද? පරිප්පු ගේන්න තමයි මේ ගේන්න හදන්නේ. එහෙනම් වැඩියෙන්ම දාපු එකට දෙනවද? එහෙමවත් වෙනවා. අන්බි ටෙන්ඩර් බෝඩ්ස් වල ලාභයක පැත්තකින් තියලා වැඩියෙන්ම දාපු එකට දෙනවා. මේ බඩු විකුණන්න නෙමෙයිනේ. මේ ඇවිල්ලා ගෙන්න ගන්න. එහෙනම් අපි ඕනේ ප්‍රයිස් එක අඩුවෙන් මේක තමයි ප්‍රයිස් එක මේ මාකට් එකේ මේ ප්‍රයිස් එක. දැන් කවුද ගේන්නේ? C වෙන්නම් බෑ. එහෙනම් කවුද?
D. D. 800 USD.
800. හරි මම තව පරක්කු කර කියන්නම්. දැන් C get him out. right? B 800. හැබැයි මේ ඉල්ලලා තියෙන්නේ මගේ වැරද්ද. මං කියමු මේ CW කියලා නිකුවේ CW කියන ඉතින් අඩුවෙන් මේකට තමයි යන්නේ. ඒ කියන්නේ මේකේ මේ 800 එකේ කණ්ඩ වෙන්නේ කළුවට පරිපූර්ණමය. ඒ අපේ විතරක් නෙමෙයි ප්‍රයිස් එක විතරක් නෙමෙයි බලන්නේ ක්වොලිටි එකත් සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අපි බලනවා. හරි. අපේ ලොකු වෙන සුපර් මාකට් චේන් එකක් නම් අපි බලන්නේ කොහොමද කියන්නේ. මේක අපි 800 එක out of the way. දැන් මේ අපි දන්නවා world market එකේ 1000 තියෙද්දි how can he buy for 800? Impossible. That means the quality may be not up to the standard. Quality may be not up to the standard. අපි මේකත් ගන්නේ නැහැ. එහෙනම් අපි කාවද ගන්නෙ? ඉතුරු ටිකෙන් ළඟම තියෙනවෙන් අපිට කුයි කර ගහන්න පුළුවන්. ඔෆර් කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ world market rate $10 a day. Yeah, $2 a day. Yeah, $5 a day. Right? So this is okay. A is the one who is going to get. Okay. Now for this, with this tender, they have to submit. What do you call this? Tender. Bid bond. Normally, the bid bond should be 2 to 5%. 2% to 5% of the tender value. 2% to 5% of the tender value, which they have to submit. They have to go to the bank and they have to submit it. Right? So these guys have got the tender. The bid bond level. Now, this company, they will inform A, the may woman cut bid bonds. Well, bid bonds won't that come over the and I think after the Paranaga, Chendrega Dekot, Chendrega Apidano 985 kilo Chendra Dalano, him back. At a perform can make a chuck check man, Uruta than the gun, make me, tenders the gun. Now, this guy has been informed, okay, you are the winner. We will award the tender to you. Now you better, the first one, it was a bid bond. Right? Now you better give us a performance bond. Now you better give us a performance bond. Performance bond or performance guarantee. Then not it. Right? The bid bond can say. Then the performance bond. That you are going to perform. Right? So then this guy has to go to his bank and ask for a performance bond. Normally the performance bond will be 5 to 10 or 15%. 10 or 15%. Right? 5 to 15% again. Saman 10% gun, no 15% gun. 10 to 15%, right? Performance bond. So this guy has to go to his bank and ask for a performance bond. Now, if the tender value he has put is LKR only in the can, LKR 30 million can, 30 million only, okay, Megana bank again, security lever. This guy fails to give the performance bond. He never thought that he will get the contract. Now he got the contract. Then would again. But the Ammo Mankohin the make the guarantee at the performance bond. Performance bond and then bank at in the gang in the security. Yeah, they know. Yeah, do not hurry. It's very neat. Then the very not, this company will confiscate his bid bond. whatever the amount he has given as a guarantee, they will claim from the particular issuing bank. That's a penalty that this guy has to pay. Otherwise, once he submit the performance bond, they will return the bid bond to cancel. They will return the bid bond to cancel. The bid bond cancel kalla, ekiti security release karaganda pulang yata vedamu. Right? Until then, none of these guys bid bonds are returned. They have four bid bonds in B, C, D, E. And once this guy submit the performance bond, then these performance bonds will also, these bid bonds will also return to the bidders to get cancelled. You got it? Otherwise, sometimes if he fails to do it, they might think of awarding it to this guy, the next immediate one, or they can call fresh tender. The performance. Now this guy wants to perform. The amount is, full amount is US dollars 100,000. US dollars 100,000 worth of dal he has to import. Now he has to open the LC to import the dal. He has to pay some advance to that guy. He has a lot of expenses. Then he will go to his bank. Then he will ask the principal, please, the beneficiary, I need some advance payment. I need some advance payment because I have to do some payments. There are certain expenses. So he will, then they will say, the beneficiary will say, okay, submit me an advance bond guarantee, advance payment guarantee. Because now you are going to give the money without getting any goods. Initial stage again, without any getting any goods, right? No underlying goods, you are going to give money. So you need a guarantee. The beneficiary needs a guarantee. So this A will go to his bank and ask for an advance payment guarantee. Right? He will ask for an advance payment guarantee. So whatever the advance is going to get is getting covered. Right? Make a samadhi 10 to 50% විතරවගේ යනවා. අපි මේ amount එකෙන් අපි ඉල්ලන amount එක අරගොල්ලෝ security එකක් ඉල්ලනවා. Right? Now you understand? Then comes the, now I'll switch the scenario. මේ පරිප්පුවට මට retention එකක් ගන්න බෑ. දැන් මෙතෙන් ඉඳලා හරි පරිප්පු කේස් එක ඉවරයි. We assume Norwich power plant. The same thing, Norwich power plant. We have a request for some bids. Right? A bid selling auto bid Chinese company make a. They have done the performance bond. They have given the advance. They have asked for advance payment. So we have CEB has given the advance payment. For that, they have given the advance payment guarantee. Nothing to worry. Now the project is over. Now the project is over. Now the contractor will ask for the balance payment. The balance payment. A balance payment, the advance payment, then balance payment. A balance payment then as per the contract between the buyer and the seller or the applicant and the beneficiary, they will say, we need a retention guarantee. retention guarantee from your bank. Right? It is but retention guarantee. 10%. 10% retention. 10% retention. Okay, retention. In case if something happens, after 1 year or 2 years, period guarantee period guarantee period ඇතුලේ මොනවාර වුණොත් මේක රිපෙයාර් කරන්න ඕන. දැන් ඔක්කොම සල්ලි ගත්තට පස්සේ චීන පැන්නම තමයි නේද? චීනාව හොයන්න බෑ අපිට. චීන කම්පැනි හොයන්න අපිට හම්බෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඉතින් ඒකෙන්ද they ask for retention guarantee. Retention guarantee එක දුන්නාට පස්සේ then we will issue the balance payment and if something happens during the guarantee period for every construction this thing they have a guarantee period if something happens during the guarantee period it has to be repaired or replaced or whatever thing අපි කඩෙන් බඩුවක් ගත්තත් එක්කනේ 1 year warranty එකක් තියෙනවා warranty period එකේදී උදාහරණ ගන්න same thing. Can you remember about 1 year back, we had this issue at Norachole power plant. There was a breakdown, serious breakdown, and we have to got down Chinese guys from China, and they came and repaired it and sort it out. Because that was within that warranty period, right? If they didn't come here, what is going to happen? Their money is with the bank, 10%. We are holding, right? 10% we are holding. Then we will claim from the bank. Recently, about few months back, PCR machines ticket Mulera hospital PCR machines balance they came because it was under warranty period, right? Okay, then මේ guarantees එක ඔයගොල්ලන්ට මතකනේ අමාරුවක් නැහැ නේ දැන් මම මේ කිසිම දෙයක් කියන්නේ මේක තියෙනවා bid bond මොනවද කියලා කියවලා බලන්න කියවන්න සේරම ලියේවා ලියන්න මේවා එක්සෑම් එකට එනවා right ලියා ගන්න පුළුවන් මට දැන් මම ස්ටෝරි එක කියලා ඉවරයි දැන් තියෙන්නේ මේවා ඔක්කොම පන්නලා දාන්න විතරයි තියෙන්නේ මට right then ඔයගොල්ලන්ට මේක කියවට පස්සේ note එක එහෙම note එක ලියා ගන්න පුළුවන් අදම කියවන්න හැබැයි right don't wait till tomorrow right then another type of guarantee is custom guarantees sometimes these contractors often need to import equipment temporarily to carry out contracts, right? Some equipment, local projects are going to get temporarily, right? Cranes, okay, but if you are bringing something into the country, then you have to pay import duty. But without paying import duty, they will keep a custom guarantee issued by a bank, right? And then use the funds. And when they are taking them out, after taking them out, customs will release the custom guarantee, right? Another way of giving custom guarantees is containerized cargoes. Right. For example, this same example, you say, Musulda, these containers, when they come to the harbor, we are not going to open the containers and see what are what are the stuff inside the containers, right? Instead of that, they'll ask for a custom guarantee. They'll ask for a custom guarantee from a bank. Right? The custom guarantee the person, the custom will release the containers, and then they send another their custom officer to the premises of CWE, and then when the CWE, once we deliver the goods to the warehouse of CWE, the custom officer goes there, and then only they will open the containers and check. Right? After that, they will give the final import duty bill to the importer. Import duty bill to the charges to the importer. And then importer will pay. Importer has to pay $10,000 or $50,000 or whatever import duty they have to pay. Once they pay the import duty and no outstanding, then these people will release the guarantee for you to get it cancelled. Right? It's clear? Right. Then financial guarantees, overdrafts or loan guarantees. This also can happen under the bank guarantees. The financial guarantees is something like this. Okay, make a story I got to them. Okay, mangganang tapi kenek kamu api itu mah mang wage kenek api pengari wade kalla because I was working abroad for about 10 years, working with HSBC Bank, and then whatever the money I have earned, those days I didn't. Some I sent it to Sri Lanka because my entire family was with me. I don't have any commitments in Sri Lanka. Only some money I have sent. Other money we invested in tax haven countries like Isle of Man, Jersey, or what those countries are there. Your money won't get taxed, and you get a good return also. Right? Housemates are තමයි ගොඩක් අනේ පහු ඒ මිනිස්සු වැඩ කරලා හම්බෙන සතියෙම ලංකාවට එනවා. අපි වගේ මිනිස්සු ගියාම ලංකාවට පාඩුයි. අපි දන්නවා මොනවද වෙන්නේ කියලා. මොකද ලංකාවත් ෂුවර් නැහැ. දැන් මම අන්තිමට මම ගෙනාවා තමයි. දැන් ගෙනාව පිට කරලා දැන් මම කරගන්න දෙයක් නැතු වෙනවා. මොකද NRC එක වැඩකුත් නැහැ නේ. Just imagine if I want to do a payment outside, all restricted. All restricted. Now there was a time where I can do all these transactions without any issues. Now, if I want to send some money to England or Australia for my daughter's studies or something, very difficult. Or if my daughter is getting married in Australia, she is living there, right? She is going to get married, so I want to send some money to her. Very difficult to send money now. You have to get the central bank approval and they have to explain everything. Even though you are having NRC accounts, right? FCA accounts and again foreign currency accounts. They have invested money in HSBC Jersey. Now, after a few years, this guy has come back to Sri Lanka. And he doesn't want to go back again, and he wants to start a business here. So he goes to his bank, BOC, and he will tell, that's his bank, he will tell BOC, I need facilities for international trade operations. I am going to get involved in import and export business, right? I need facilities for LC facilities, LC facility, import bill payment facility. Now, facility facilities, right? Then I need export bill discounting. Export bill discounting. Right? I need packing credit facilities. So all these facilities I need. I need a package of rupees 500 million. Rupees 500 million package. The first question Bank of Ceylon will ask you is what? The first question when you go to the bank, the first question they will ask you is what? Sampak Bank again. ඔකට facility ගන්නවා මිනිහෙක් මොනවද අහන්නේ? පළවෙනි එක. බැංකුවේ. I'm asking the bankers. Tell me. What are the securities? නේද? What are the securities? ඒකනේ අහන්න ප්‍රශ්න. Now you don't have anything here. You will say, I'm having some property in Bandarawela. I have a tea estate. Bank ඒවා අදාළ නැහැ. tea estate එක අරගෙන ඒකේ risk එකක් උඩ. Then the bank is asking some tangible security. Then he will say, okay, I'm having my money with HSBC Jersey. I can get you a counter guarantee. So they will issue a counter guarantee. They will issue a counter guarantee to Bank of Ceylon and tell them, okay, you can grant this facility to Mr. Pereira, right? Because I'm going to cover your exposure of rupees 500 million. It's a bank guarantee. And in case if this guy doesn't pay any outstanding, we will pay you. What else Bank of Ceylon wants? They will be over the moon. Bank of Ceylon. They got a guarantee, counter guarantee from world leading bank, HSBC. Right? They will definitely give the facilities to Mr. Pereira. Mr. Pereira will continue it. Right? And only if there's any outstandings or default, these people will claim on the bank guarantee. Right? Okay. Overdraft loan guarantee. මේකටම තමයි එන්නේ OD facility ගෝන loans ගෝන. Right? Okay. I hope it's clear to you now. The factors considered by the issuing bank prior to issuance of the guarantee, right? The supplier's performance risk. You have to see if it is a supplier or a contractor, right? When he comes to you, first you have to see if they are one of your good customers, good or bad or whatever. You have to do a KYC of that customer and know your customer is most important. And you should dig some information and see whether this guy is okay, right? Then පාරක් හදන්න contract එකක් ගන්න නවලෝක constructions or මාගා ඇවිල්ලා apply කරොත් අපි ඇහැ වහලා දෙනවා. Nothing to worry, right? Pereira & Sons කියලා කම්පැනි එකක් කියලා ඉල්ලුවොත් එහෙම මාත් මේකට බිඩ් කරනවා මට මේක ගැරන්ටි එකක් ඕනයි කියලා performance guarantee එකක් දෙන්න මම පාරක් හදන්න. Pereira & Sons මම දන්න Pereira & Sons මාළු පානුයි බිත්තර පානුයි හදන්න නේ පාර හදන්න කොහොමද? This is only an example. with due regards to Sons company. Leasing පිරුම් ගන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ. එතකොට පාරවල් හදන්නේ නැහැ නේ ඒගොල්ලෝ. එතකොට ඒගොල්ලන්ට බලන්න මේ can this guy perform this? එහෙම නැතුව 100% security දෙනවා, nothing to worry. We'll issue the guarantee. Right? එහෙම කරන්න එපා. Then the applicant's credit standing and the risk of unfair calling of the bond is very important. Risk of unfair calling of the bond. Most of the, when you are working in the trade finance department and when you are issuing bank guarantees and all, you will come to know that there are certain companies, certain beneficiaries, especially in the government sector, I have seen, they are under the guarantee, they are calling for the claim. They are putting the claim, right? It's unfair calling, right? Evage companies wale kana megula business karanne. It is your duty to tell your customer, please be careful. And in my case, I don't like to issue guarantees to this guy, right? Real troublesome beneficiary, right? If the bank agrees to issue the bond, it will mark the bond value against the applicant's credit lines and request for account indemnity from the applicant. And generally, the charges are on annual fee base on the bond value, right? Then the charges are 2 to 3%. More profitable business, right? I can still remember when I started Cargill's Bank Trade Finance Department, a long time back, it was in 2014. I managed to go on a break-even situation because of bank guarantees. When you issue LCs, what's the commission you are going to get? LCs 0.25% LCs. Guarantees 2 to 3%. Right? It's a good business. Demands, any demand for payment under guarantee shall be in writing, no over the phone, right? In the event of a demand, the guarantor should inform the applicant, counter guarantor without any delay. The moment you get a demand, even if you are the bank, don't go and pay the money to the beneficiary. It is your duty to inform the applicant or the counter guarantor without any delay, right? Sometimes there may be unfair calling of the bond, right? Bonds and guarantees are of two basic types. One is on-demand bonds, that is only no documentary evidences, no supporting documents. They said, under this guarantee, please pay us. HRM. Then you have to pay. Other one is conditional bonds that specify the documentary evidence that must accompany a claim, right? Then the last point, the banks must simply pay out upon receipt of documentation specified in the bond without disputing the rights and wrongs of the bond claim. Right? If you have received the claim, we have to pay. Right? But sometimes there are unfair calling. Then the customer will tell you, so don't pay this. Right? I have done all my job. There are some asset guys in that organization, right? But I have experience, right? In that organization, that guy asked me to ask me some bribe of commission or whatever thing, 1 lakh commission kilo. Because of that only, now this guy is claiming. And but the big bosses doesn't know about the thing. ඔයගේ දේවල් අපිට ඇවිල්ලා කියනවා. Then as banks we can't get involved into these things, but what we will do is, without paying on the first demand, we will ask the guy to go and get us a letter or to revoke the claim within 1 day. අපි කියනවා දවස් ගණන් ඉන්න බෑ, මාස ගණන් ඉන්න බෑ. Within 1 day, otherwise we have to pay. Then those guys will go and get the thing sorted out and they bring a letter to us. And ඔයගේ ඒවා එනවා. අර claim එක ඉල්ලුව මිනිහව පස්සේ අපිට call කරලා කියනවා so it's okay, we have sorted out the issue, no need to pay. Right? ඒවා තමයි නරක. ඒ වගේ companies එක මම නම් issue කරන්න කැමති නැහැ. හැමදාම අපිට බෑනේ cases අදින්න. Important operational aspects of a bank guarantee. Format of a bank guarantee I have given. I don't want to explain much on these things because this additional information I have given to you is for your own benefit. Right? මේවා exam එකේ මම දැක්ලා නැහැ important operational aspects of a bank guarantee. Formats සාමාන්‍යයෙන් bank guarantee formats is provided by the beneficiary. Right? But some are standard ones. අපි ගාව standard දේවල් තියෙනවා. අපි ඒවා copy paste කළා. ඊට පස්සේ ඒකේ adjustments කරලා දෙනවා. Wordings of a guarantee, even the wordings will be there are no standard international regulations to word guarantees. Therefore, it could be worded freely depending on the individual requirement. Alright? කොහොමද වෙන්න ඕනේ claim එක කරනවා සමානලාට beneficiary දෙනවා. Important aspects in a bank guarantee. Bank guarantee එක මොනවද තියෙන්නේ කියන එක. The name of the applicant should be there, the name of the beneficiary, short description of the underlying transactions, right? Then maximum amount payable and currency which is to be payable. Then terms and conditions for claiming the payment in case of an eventuality. Date of expiry of the guarantee, applicable law, applicable currency, applicable jurisdiction. That's very important. Applicable jurisdiction. හැම guarantee එකම අන්තිම පැරාය කියන්නේ this is subject to the jurisdiction of Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka. අපි ඒක කියනවා. Right? නැත්නම් වෙන law එකකින් අපිට fight කරන්න වෙන්නේ. Format of the guarantee should be approved by the applicant and should be in accordance with the specifications of the beneficiary. Right? Amendments to a guarantee cannot be made at the request of the beneficiary. We have to get it approved by the principal or customer. Right? Then only the banks could comply with the request. Claim procedures. All claims should be made within the expiry date. After the expiry date, claims we will not entertain. Any claims made after expiry should be rejected and not entertained. Right? Any claims made within the expiry should be expeditiously settled. There shouldn't be any hesitation on the part of the bank in honoring a valid claim. Right? This is important. Uniform rules for demand guarantees. The guarantees are handled by uniform rules for demand guarantees. Right? I have given you right, given you a copy of URDG 758. All this time, even Mama ඉඳලා හිටලා තමයි ඉගෙනුවේ. මොකද we never thought these people will test you on URDG articles. හැබැයි ඉතින් පුතේ කරන්න දෙයක් නැහැ. කරුමෙට දැන් ඔන්න පහුගිය අවුරුදු ගාන මම දැක්ක දිගින් දිගටම URDG එකකින් questions එනවා. They are talking about the articles. Right? So you have to have some idea, right? Okay. ගිය පාරත් වුණා මම දන්නේ. ඊට කලින් පාරත් වුණා. They are asking for URP. UCP 600, මදිවට URC 522. On top of that, URR. Have you done URR 725? Uniform rules for reimbursement. Have you done that? Class එකේ මුලින්ම හිටපු ළමයි කතා කරන්න බෑ. Mr. Bernard class එකේ. Uniform rules for reimbursement. කායිකවත් නැද්ද වචනයක්වත්? ඒක කරන්න ඕනද ඔයගලන්ට? ඒත් එපාද? කරන්න එපාද? ඔයගොල්ලෝ කතා කරන්නේ නැහැ කියන්නේ මම කරන්න ඕනේ නැහැ කියන එක නේද? URL 725 කරුත් questions එනවා. Since recently, I don't know who is read the paper. මේ දෙක තුනම එනවා. Right? ඒකින්ද කියන්නේ URL 75 ඔයගොල්ලෝ කළාද නැද්ද? මට බලන්න පුළුවන් මට මේ පරණ මේ ගන්න කියදාගේ මිස්ටර් බර්නඩ්ගේ පරණ ලෙක්චර්ස් ටික බැලුවොත් උඩ හොයාගන්න පුළුවන්. බොරු කියන්නේ නැතුව කියන්නේ. We have certain other areas to cover. Right? එක්කෙනෙක් වන්නද ළමයි මුලින් ඉඳන් හිටපු කට්ටිය. Right. එතන මේ your DGK uniform rule for demand guarantees I have given certain pretty text එකක් දීලා තියෙනවා. ඔයගොල්ලන්ට guideline එකක් හැටියට දීලා තියෙනවා. Right? Okay. Any questions you want to ask now? Any questions you want to ask now? Various things කළා ඔයගලන්ට demand guarantees, right? Okay. Now we will I will briefly discuss with you about the URDG, right? But you have to study this URDG, and this coming Friday, on the POE day, I told you that we are going to have an extra class. The date is POE day, right? Friday කියන්නේ කවද මට කියන කියන්න බෑ ඔයගොල්ලෝ ගාව ගෙදර කැලෙන්ඩර් එකක් තියෙනවා Friday කියන්නේ කවද්ද කියලා? කවද පුතේ?
26th, sir.
26th Friday. 26th Friday, I'm going to have a special class for 2 hours, 10:30, 12:30, right? මම බැලුවේ ඔයගොල්ලොත් එක්ක කතා කරන්න මට මේක කතා කරන්න හැකියි ටිකක් briefly. I'll discuss few questions on UCP 600, which is important for you, and then we will discuss the URDG. මම මේකේ past papers වල ඒගොල්ලෝ අහන areas මට පොඩ්ඩක් හොයාගන්න බලන්න. බලාගෙන ඔයගොල්ලෝ පොඩ්ඩක් බලන්න ඔයගොල්ලෝ ගාව past papers තියෙනවා නම් then you can ask me about those questions, right? And I will also see what are the common areas they are going to question you, right? The make අපි බලමු Uniform rules for demand guarantees, URDG 758. Right? Make a uniform rules for demand guarantees. PDF presentation make it, when you are studying, go with this one. Scope and application of the rules, definition and general provisions, liabilities and responsibilities, everything is there. Right? So make a balagana, may with it, padang karagana, yan. Right. This is the application of URDG. Like UCP 600, anything on guarantees, if you have to decide certain things, this guarantee is subject to uniform rules for demand guarantees, URDG 758. Then these ICC regulations will apply. Right? First one is the application of URDG. The uniform rules for demand guarantees apply to any demand guarantee or counter guarantee that expressly indicates it is subject to them. It is subject to URDG. URDG apply. They are binding on all parties to the demand guarantee or counter guarantee, except so far as the demand guarantee or counter guarantee modifies or excluded them. Right? Again, they get a yan. Then I told you Article 2 definitions. Right? What do you mean by authenticated? What do you mean by beneficiary? Means the party in whose favor a guarantee is issued. Business day means a day on which the place of business where an act of a kind subject to these rules is to be performed. Charges means any commission, fees, cost, expenses incurred during the operations. Compliant demand. What do you mean by compliant presentation under the guarantee? Right? All those things they are talking about. So you have to have some better understanding. You get a good idea about the bank guarantees. You get a good idea about the bank guarantees. Right? Then supporting statement and all those, everything is there. Then Article 3 is the interpretations. Right? Article 3 is interpretations. Branches of a guarantor in different countries are considered to be separate entities. Right? The maker, what do you mean by this one? If the guarantee is issued by HSBC Colombo, right? And the party, then now they have issued they have given the counter guarantee, counter guarantor, right? Guarantor is HSBC Beijing. HSBC Beijing. HSBC Colombo, HSBC Beijing, International Bank, only 2 branches in 2 different countries. Right? Then one can argue it's the same bank. No. No, it is not the same bank. Branches of a guarantor in different countries are considered as 2 different legal entities. two different legal entities, right? They are separate. When when used with the dates or interpretations of Article 4 effective issue and effectiveness, Article 5 independence of guarantee and counter guarantee. But Haridam can without offhand, offhand I can tell you what are the past papers, what are the areas they have checked that I will do, and you also can do, right? But anyway, I will request you to study this one, your DG, and if there's any gray areas, when you read it, you will understand. If there's any gray areas, you can ask me. Right, any questions? Any questions? ඔගන්ට මං කියන දේවල් මං උගන්නන දේවල් ඔගන්ට තේරෙනවද? මම ෆාස්ට් යනවද ස්ලෝ යනවද? මම උගලත් එක්ක වැඩ කළා නෑනේ. මට ඉස්සම සෙටල් වෙන්න ඕන උගලත් එක්ක. Right? How do you feel? Give me some feedback. How do you feel? Okay, the net. Huh?
Okay, sir.
What is that today?
Okay, sir.
Huh?
Everything is fine. It's okay.
Yeah, everything fine and okay. Thank you. I think thank you. If everything is fine and okay, you guys have to get through the exam with A's and B's. That's the only thing I need, right? Even though I have taken you halfway through, I'll ensure that within next month, I'll ensure that you are ready for the exam. Take one sure karna. Right? Have a math take a class second online class may recording a class participate karna. Take math discuss karana may class again. And I thought the make the make recording a balana on a kinta, Tiaganda, take a right? Lamai in class again. Navana Sigura other Balo, a pick in another okay, if you don't have any questions, I'll call it today. So thank you very much for your participation.